this is getting really difficult.
Fine. If you really do know, explain the meaning of that shard of glass.
The shard of light blue glass Kyoko found in the bottle of poison. I think I remember it now. I broke something in the same shade of blue. The rec room window.
I got it! It's part of the window from the rec room door, right?
The window?
The window we broke to get in was light blue, just like that. So I think that must be it.
You're right. It must be. Of course, that leads to another question. How did a shard of glass from the window get inside this bottle of poison?
What's so strange about that?
What's strange is that, according to what Hina told us,
Where was it? The bottle of poison should have been when I broke the rec room window, according to what Hina told us. What? What? Hold on, guys. What? 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 Hey, you. How much swag? 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 Wait, what am I supposed to answer? Hold on, guys. I'm trying to figure this out. Section A of the shelf.
I got it! The bottle of poison was left on the shelf in the chem lab.
Am I recording?
That is what you said.
Yes.
Right, Hina? And yet, somehow a piece of glass from the rec room window made its way into the bottle.
Everything Hina told us was a lie?
In reality, that bottle of poison most definitely found its way to the rec room. It was there at least until the window got broken. There's no other way to explain the presence of that glass in that bottle.
And then, once the room was opened, the bottle somehow got moved back to the shelf in the chem lab. Meanwhile, the protein can we found at the crime scene was planted there. That had to be after the locked room was opened. In other words, after Sakura died.
Wait, hold on. You're moving too fast. I'll grant you, the bottle of poison may well have been in the rec room when it was locked, but how can you say the protein can was put there after the room was unlocked? We already know she was given the protein can with the poison inside, right? If that can wasn't there when she died, how did she get poisoned?
You're right. We do need to explain that. But before we do, there's something I'd like to confirm with everyone here.
Huh?
It has to do with the protein can. After Sakura's body was discovered, did anyone move it or trip over it or anything like that?
What are you talking about? Is this some kind of loaded question?
Not at all. Just answer to the best of your ability.
Well, no, not that I remember.
Yeah, me either.
Not me.
Same here. Yeah, me either.
Okay then, that settles it. That proves that the protein can found its way to the murder scene after the room was opened.
Oh, come on! How can you say that? How can you know what I don't know?
He's raged. The reason she can say that is because there's evidence. The proof that someone brought the protein can into the rec room after it was opened is because there's glass underneath it.
When it comes to that, there's not a doubt in my mind. Until the locked room was, it absolutely was.
So you're saying someone planted it there?
No, that's impossible. It had to have been in there the whole time. It had to be. It was in there before the rec room was unlocked.
What? When the locked room was unlocked, in other words, when I broke the window, if I concentrate on that.
When it comes to that protein can,
I don't know.
there's
Guys,
not a doubt in my mind. Until the locked room was unlocked, it absolutely was not in there.
I don't know.
So you're saying someone planted it there?
No.
It had to have been. It had to be. It was in
The rec room was unlocked. Hold on. I think that's it. Sorry guys, I'm really bad at this and I don't like losing, so
Someone planted it?
No. It had to have been in there the whole time. It had to be. It was in there before.
no. Can you imagine telling Byakuya that's wrong?
You remember how there was broken glass scattered all around the room, right?
Of course. It came from the window you broke to get in. What about it?
Well, those pieces weren't just scattered around the protein can. We also found pieces underneath the can.
What?
And this proves it. It shows that the can must have been put down on the floor after the window was broken. So it had to be after we got into the room.
I see. So that's your explanation. Kyoko, earlier when you asked if anyone had moved the can or tripped over it,
If that were the case, that would explain the can being on top of the glass.
So you asked everyone about it to eliminate that possibility right out of the gate.
And that's made everything clear, hasn't it? As long as it was a locked room, it only contained the bottle of poison, and not the protein can. But once the room was opened up, they were switched, and as a result, the protein can wound up in the rec room, and the bottle of poison returned to the chem lab.
if that's all true, then why did Sakura drink the poison? I thought we all agreed she was tricked into drinking it because of the protein can.
No, that's not why. The only explanation is she drank it from its original bottle, knowing exactly what it was.
Precisely. She was alone in a locked room. All she had was the poison. What other possibility is there?
You're saying she drank it knowing what it was? Such a ridiculous fiction is...
Exactly what happened.
Then tell us already. Sorry. Please, tell us.
Before we get to that, we need to clarify one other thing. We need to establish who exactly got the poison from the chem lab and took it to the rec room.
It was Hina, right? She took it and gave it to Ogre.
What do you think, Makoto?
The one who got the poison from the chem lab and brought it into the rec room, it had to have been Sakura.
Got it!
Because it was on her
I
shoe.
think it was Sakura herself.
Huh? So Sakura, who was apparently murdered, just poisoned herself? What are you talking about? There's no way!
On the contrary, we know for a fact she went to the chem lab, right to the section full of poisons.
You're lying! Stop lying! Why? Why would you lie like that?
No, it's not a lie. Sakura definitely went to Section C. Kyoko already showed me the evidence I need. Now I have to hit Hina with it.
You're a liar!
Why are there so many of these?
Wrong! You're wrong! I'm telling you, I did it! Stop talking!
She wants to believe she did it, doesn't she?
Wrong! You're wrong! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you! I hate you!
She doesn't want to believe it. That's kind of sad.
You're a liar!
Oh my lord. Final strike.
Do you have any kind of proof Sakura took the poison?
This should prove it.
She said, "This should prove it."
Hina, did you know that Sakura's foot had a certain yellow powder stuck to it?
It did?
It did. The same yellow powder that had been spilled by the shelf in the chem lab. That powder was yellow, wasn't it?
Yes.
So the powder we found on Sakura.
Yeah.
What else could it be but the powder from the chem lab?
Nothing.
Wait. So, what was that powder doing on Ogre's foot?
And it was only on her instep, right?
Sakura must have been standing right there where the powder was spilled. So the person who spilled the powder by the shelf wasn't Hina, but Sakura.
Indeed it was.
And when Sakura dropped the bottle, she dropped it away from where she was actually standing, which is how she was able to avoid getting it all over herself. But the powder still got scattered around, and some of it must have wound up on her instep. Is there any problem with my thinking?
But why did Sakura pay a visit to Section C in the first place? The only explanation is that she was looking for poison. After all, that's all that section contained.
No! It was me! The poison! Because I killed her!
No, you didn't kill her.
The one that killed Sakura. The connection between Sakura and the poison. The unsolved mystery of the locked room. There's only one way to explain it. select someone. I've got to select her.
Here's my answer. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
What? The killer was Sakura?
Wait, so you're saying it was suicide?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it any more than I believe I can fly.
I can't believe it either. Or rather, I don't want to believe it. But when you really think about it, everything matches up. Sakura went and got the poison. She barricaded herself in a room, and she drank it, all so she could end her own life. And that explains why we couldn't solve the mystery of the locked room.
Because, of course, Sakura wanted to create the locked room.
I got it! The locked room mystery was created by Sakura.
I'm sure she locked herself in so nobody could stop her from doing what she did. She sat there, drank the poison, and breathed her last breath. And the empty bottle of poison rolled around the locked room until we came and opened it. At that point, someone grabbed the bottle and snuck it out of the room. And that was you, wasn't it, Hina? You did it to throw off the investigation, didn't you? When we found her body, you stayed right there near the door because you already knew Sakura was dead, and because the bottle of poison had rolled near the doorway.
That's when you picked up the bottle, right? I was too shocked to notice anything, and Kyoko was busy checking the body.
And the more I think about it, the more I realize how unusual your actions were.
I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. She left the room.
You said you were going to go get everyone else, but your real intention was to go to the chem lab and switch out the containers, wasn't it? Once you were at the chem lab, you headed straight to the section where the protein powder was kept. There, you took the powder and poured it into the bottle of poison you'd grabbed from the rec room. When you left the lab, all you had was the empty protein can. Thinking about it like that, the footprints make perfect sense.
When you were done, you gathered everyone together. And once you were back in the rec room...
I got everyone.
While everyone else was focused on Sakura, you quietly placed the can on the ground. Honestly, I should have noticed. You should have been the first one to run up to Sakura's lifeless body. The Hina I know never would have left her side in a situation like that.
So, Sakura committed suicide. In order to hide this fact, Hina undertook a series of actions to undermine the investigation. As long as you could disguise the truth, you didn't care if we blamed you for her death. That's why you didn't bother to get rid of such obvious evidence, right? The footprints in the powder and the bottle of poison? Vital pieces of evidence, and yet...
So you're saying Hina consciously deceived us to make it look like she killed Sakura?
No! I killed her! I didn't!
That's enough, Hina. It's over.
It's not! Nothing's over!
It is! Actually, no. You're right. We have to end this properly.
What? No! I wanted an execution. Why does he look like that? He looks like Yurio. So she came in and she hid in the locker, and then she saw her, and then he hit her. He hit her with this thing. He wrote Toko's name. He ran. She saw her name. She saw her name. And then she put the magazine back. She saw her passed out. Wait, so that's got that in it. Let's see if this is the right one. No. So he hit her with the knight. So then this one over here is this one. Right, yeah. And she drank the poison. And then pick up poison. Okay.
The killer is you! This case began when Sakura asked a number of people to meet her in the rec room. Specifically, those people were Hiro, Toko, and Byakuya. But one of them headed out a bit earlier than the others. Toka. She got there one step ahead of everyone else and looked around for a good hiding spot. And she found it. She crawled into the locker to get out of sight. Then, from inside the locker, she saw Sakura enter the room.
Yeah.
Next to arrive was Hiro. When he got there, he mistakenly thought Sakura was going to try to kill him, so he panicked. Without thinking, he grabbed a nearby Monokuma bottle and attacked Sakura with it. Thinking he'd killed her, he hastily began covering up his crime. He took a magazine from the table and forged a dying message from Sakura. To that end, he wrote down a name. Toka. By writing her name, he was hoping to pin the murder on her. But of course, Toko had witnessed the whole thing. So as soon as the coast was clear, she jumped out of the locker and hid the magazine on the shelf with all the others. But in her rush, she made one little mistake. She put the magazine back upside down.
What a shame.
Soon after, she watched as Sakura slowly opened her eyes. She also saw the blood dripping off Sakura's head and fainted. This caused her personality to switch back over to Genocide Jack. When she woke back up, her second personality also saw the blood-soaked Sakura, and she freaked out. And just like Hiro, she grabbed another Monokuma bottle and attacked her. This explains why there were two. Assuming Sakura really was dead this time, she set about disposing of the evidence. She gathered up the broken...
Is those her legs?
And the clean chest piece. And that explains how Sakura was attacked twice with the same type of weapon. But even after those two blows, she was still alive. So then, what was Sakura's actual cause of death? It was the poison that Sakura She turned the rec room into a true locked room scenario, and then drank the deadly mixture. And there, she took her final breath. Later on, the rest of us discovered that her body was in there. We had to smash the door's window to get inside. But someone already knew what had happened. Knew that she had committed suicide. And that same someone quietly snatched the bottle of poison from off the ground. And while nobody was looking, replaced it with an empty protein can. They did all this specifically to place all the suspicion on themselves, in an attempt to guide the trial to a false conclusion. And the one who went to all
Look at Toko's hair. Look at how Makoto looks. Hot.
Was you, Hina.
So, nobody's really
That's
guilty.
the full truth of the case. Sakura took her own life, and you claim to be the killer to hide that fact. Isn't that right?
That's what happened? But Makoto, how did you manage to... How were you able to uncover the truth that even I couldn't discern?
Huh? Oh, well, I mean...
You still haven't realized? We don't all act according to calculations and cost-benefit diagrams. That's what makes us so complicated. That's what you don't understand. And that's why you couldn't solve this case. See? Didn't I tell you? When you dismiss other people's feelings, it'll always come back to bite you in the end.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I think we can all agree you made your point. Did you guys forget already? You still haven't voted yet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You seriously forgot? I can feel my energy draining out of me. Well, whatever. You don't really have a choice anyway. You just gotta do it. Maybe you don't want to, but please grab your lever and cast your vote. So, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
But there's no blackened. What? Wow, that was so good. It was suicide. It wasn't even...
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
My entire existence.
We're done here.
What did you say?
So that's the whole truth. Huh, I see. But there's still one thing I don't understand. Hina, why did you try to cover up what happened? If the truth hadn't come to light, you would have died along with the rest of us. And yet why did you do that?
Don't be mean.
Yeah, we almost died there.
What is this?
Because that's exactly what I wanted. I mean, the reason Sakura died is because all of you pushed her into a corner. You all killed her. So that's why.
You should have been the one to die. What?
You don't mean you were gonna take us all with you? We have to atone for our sins. Because everyone, even me, we all killed her. We all have to pay for our crimes. We're serious, that's.
What is this?
You still don't understand? Let me explain. Do you realize how much despair Sakura was carrying with her when she died? Look at this. Such brutality has made me desperate. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hand. I found it on the ground in front of the rec room. It's Sakura's suicide note. Suicide note. Thinking back, I should have seen it coming. It was right after Genocide Jack had attacked me. Sakura got mad and stormed out of the nurse's office. I ran out after her and... Sakura, calm down. You don't have to worry about me. I'm fine. I can't calm down. I don't care if I suffer for this. It's my own fault after all. But now you're suffering because of me.
No forgiveness. I can't forgive this.
Sakura, because of me, my friends are all going to kill each other. This is my responsibility. Sakura thought she was responsible. She thought everything was her fault, which is why she wanted to find some way to get everyone to forgive her. She asked me to meet with them. You asked me to meet with those three? You can't. Don't you see how dangerous that is? Don't worry, I just want to talk to them. Listen, don't do it if they all gang up you at once. Please don't think of things like that. They're not my enemy. They're friends. She completely believed in all of us. If you just talked to her, you would have understood she was a friend to all of us, and yet... You trampled all over her feelings, and then you did the unthinkable. That was just a misunderstanding. Don't stand there and call it a misunderstanding. Oh my lord, the dogs. They're still barking. Without asking for a single question, you tried to kill. Do you have any idea how desperate she was seeing you act like that? That's what her suicide note means. My dogs are being so loud, I'm so sorry. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hand. That's how far you pushed her. Sakura, what happened to you?
Hina.
You came. Wait right here, I'll help you out.
Hina.
Huh?
I
I'm so glad I got to meet you. What's wrong, Sakura? Why are you talking like that?
I have a favor to ask.
Huh?
A favor?
Some protein.
Could I ask you to? Yeah, I got it. Just hang on. I'll be right back. That was the last conversation I had with her. I went to the chem lab to get the protein she'd asked for. When I got there, I saw the powder, and that's when I realized I saw that someone had taken something from the poison shelf, Sakura, so I ran back to the rec room as fast as I could. By the time I got there, it was already too late. Sakura,
Please.
let me in. Please open the door. Why did she have to die? She had weakness, just like any other person. If she got cut, she bled. If someone hurt her, she felt it. That's weakness. That's normal, and yet... You all blamed her. I tried to protect her, and I suffered for it, and that just added to the weight she had to carry. And I didn't even realize it. We all killed her, all of us. We pushed her into a corner, and we murdered her. People like us shouldn't be allowed to live. And that's why you tried to lead us astray. You did your best to make us arrive at the wrong conclusion during the class trial. Sakura died hating all of us. I wanted to free her of her regrets. But even that got found out. In the end, I wasn't able to do anything for her. I can never face her after this.
Hey! Hey!
Hold on, wait. 26 minutes. Okay. You know what? Right before the end, I'm gonna cut it off because I'm that type of person. I'm just kidding. I like cliffhangers. I'll see you guys next episode. Bye.